Hello, I'd like to compare this commercial package policy to the homeowner's package policy. This is a exam prep, look and learn and pass the test for California property and casualty. I'm starting with commercial package policy and what makes it up, and then I'd like to compare that with the homeowner's policy. And so here with the commercial package, we have this common policy and declarations and common policy conditions. And if you add that to these coverages, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coverages, you get the complete commercial package policy. All right, so that would be the commercial property, and then inland marine, and boiler, machinery, farm property, general liability for commercial, and commercial crime, and commercial automobile parts. So that's a combination of those. Now, if we look at the loss forms, I'll scroll down over here, and I look at these loss forms. We have the same, well, we'll see that the same as homeowners, but we have the 4 causes of loss forms, and they're available, and it'll specify the losses covered. Okay, so we have basic form, and the basic form is always this. By the way, there's a dwelling insurance, which is like for landlords. So we call that dwelling coverage. Then we have homeowners coverage, and now commercial coverage. So I'm doing a general comparison. The cause of loss, and I'll start with the basic form, and you'll find this is always the same on all of them, right there. So sinkholes, we don't get many in California, I don't think, and not too much volcanic action, but sprinkler leakage, vandalism. There is a mnemonic device with the first letters of each of these basic losses that are covered. This is additional coverage, limited coverage, and it's for fungus, wet and dry rot, bacteria up to 15,000 for 12 months. Now that is particular to commercial. I don't think I saw that either in the dwelling or the homeowners. But I do see this on all of them. It does not cover earth movement. And then we have flood, power failure, government action, steam boiler explosion, and ordinance of law. I can't help that. If the law decrees a certain thing, that can't be overwritten. Nuclear hazard, war. Here's fungus, which seems a little strange, and bacteria, except for noted above. Well, okay. And now vandalism, so much for vandalism, because it doesn't cover glass parts of the building or sign, just the actual entrance and exit of the burglars. And it covers smoke damage, but not if it comes in from an agricultural or industrial operation, so I guess next door. Then you have the terrorism risk, which probably is a new feature. It does cover property damage resulting in an act of terrorism. It will not cover damage that is a result of war, nor will it cover damages from nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. I guess at that point we don't have much to worry about, so these risks have long been held to be uninsurable. Okay. So that's your basic forms, and we find that under commercial. Then we have the next form, which is broad form. Broad forms is more encompassing, that covers more things. So you can see they cover everything from basic, so that's this, plus these 3 additional perils, falling objects. And if you go on YouTube, you'll find Uncle Bill, who is a teacher of this subject matter, I think in Minnesota. I'm not sure, you could check, but he gives a really nice story about something. Imagine a building and it's getting crushed by some flying object, let's say an asteroid, and that causes, as it hits the atmosphere, it causes weather change, and you get snow and sleet, and the weight of that ice crushes the building, right? So as it crushes, the water pipes bust, right, and discharge after they bust. So that's real neat. I like his story there. After 60 days vacancy, coverage for glass and water damage is suspended. Covers water loss and includes the cost to tear down the building. Okay, so that's, and now we have special forms. So those are basically the three forms of loss that are specified. Now, special forms is an open peril, whereas this one here would be a named, broad form would be a named peril. And then we have this one here, which is always your basic peril. And so we have coverage is provided for loss by risk of direct physical loss. So, and it's everything except for what is specifically excluded under exclusions. Includes the broad form parallel plus some peril coverage plus some additional coverage extensions, which includes a $5,000 limit on personal property. So this is what forms of loss for our commercial. I'm going to go over to dwelling. Okay, so we'll go to 44, and we'll look at, this is dwelling policy would be like a homeowner's policy, but this would be the case if you had rental properties, and this is coverage for that sort of thing. Here's DP1. Well, that's for dwelling policy. Yeah, and it perils covered. That's the basic form. Fire, lightning, internal explosion, wind, hail, aircraft. Here's the mnemonic words. Yeah. And then there's an extended coverage that you can get if you want, ECE, for additional premium. I'm not sure why they add it here, but it's just like another endorsement that you can get on your insurance. And in vandalism, malicious mischief may be covered by adding another one. It's VMM, vandalism and malicious endorsement. So that's something, another endorsement, right? But basic forms is still the same, if you recall, as that with commercial. The commercial had that added part with fungus and bacteria, if you remember that, and see here. So, and as far as vacancy, this is the option of that is added. It excludes loss of, if it's added, then loss excludes vandalism that occurs 60 days after vacancy. Loss to the dwelling and other structure are paid in an actual cash value. So actual cash value would take into account any kind of depreciation that would occur. Okay, now here again is the broad forms, if you recall. So this is dwelling policy, broad forms, and the broad forms covers everything that dwelling does. It contains this ECA of VMM, right? Plus, it's damaged by the burglar. Now here's the falling object, the weight, the snow and the ice, the sleet. I was telling you about the asteroid. And water or steam suddenly accidentally tearing apart, cracking the building, burning, bulging of steam, hot water, sprinklers, freezing of plumbing, heating, fire protective sprinklers or household appliances, and the sudden, and this is always the key word, sudden accidental damage from artificial generated electrical current. Okay, burglary includes damage to the covered property caused by, but not theft to the property. If you have some protected in the garage or some sort, that's how I read it. The vehicle peril does not include loss of driveway or walk that's caused by the vehicle of the owner or operated. And smoke does not include loss caused by, again, agricultural. You see that over and over. Lost dwelling and other structures are paid on a replacement. So replacement value is better because it might, I say it's better than actual cash value because what would be the cost to replace as you have it, as you had existing. The losses, the contents are paid. So that would be, replacement cost would be that of the structures, but the content that was inside would be paid again in actual value. So you see over here on the basic form we have paid out at actual, and then the broad form we get paid out on replacement for property and actual value for content. And here in the dwellings 3 we have all coverages of open peril. Remember, everything that's named, everything that's not specifically named is covered. And the threat of the dwelling is covered as long as the dwelling structure has not been vacant again 60 days. Personal property is covered like broad forms, DP2, that is, with the replacement value, and losses to the content, so structure, are paid in actual value basis. Okay, stop there, and then I'll go on to compare homeowners policy. So that would be the 3 basic: commercial policy, dwelling policy, which is like landlord's policy, and then your homeowner's policy. And I'd like to look at the loss forms there as well. Okay, thank you.